Welcome to the My RC Life YouTube channel since 2019, where we do all things RC and a little bit of everything in between. Let's go!
What's going on, everybody? Tracks is Mike from My RC Life. What we got going on here? I got two Savage chassis. They're pretty much stripped, right? No electronics on them. Well, this one does have a steering servo in it, it looks like. But there's a lot of usable parts on these. These body mounts, I need some of them as we speak. I got two of them that are pretty rough on my Savage. Shocks, A-arms. I need a front differential out of one already, like right now, because I tore up a spider gear driving mine just the other day. But anyhow, this one was a gasser, nitro powered. This one was an actual Savage Flux 2200 HP. The model I have right now is a Savage Flux 2350. Smaller motor, smaller ESC, stock. My HPI, my Savage Flux 2350 has got an X-Max 8S ESC on it, with the same 2350 motor, so it really scoots. But this was my old truck, and I think I want to make a second Savage out of this, another Savage Flux. I have a spare X-Max motor. I got a spare, I think I got a spare 2200 kV motor. I got a handful of motors and a couple of ESCs I could throw in it. But yeah, I think I'm going to put a second truck together with this one. So I don't really want to tear this one apart. I think I'm going to start by tearing this one apart. A lot of people take the nitros and they'll do an electric conversion. What I don't like about those is, you notice, okay, when I turn this way, our dry shaft's spinning. Now when I go backwards, it'll go for a second and it stops. Okay, because a nitro motor only spins one way. You have to actually shift the transmission. Well, that involves another servo, and that's if the transmission even has a reverse, and the reverse gears are known to kind of tear out of these things. So yeah, I don't think I want to convert it. I've never converted a nitro back to electric. I've seen people do it, but yeah, I don't think I'm going to do it. There is some differences. This is actually a longer truck. I'm going to line up the axle shafts on the back. And now, it's got about an extra inch. I don't know if this is an aftermarket chassis. I want to say it may have been. I'm hoping that the front diffs and stuff are the same in this as it is in this. And I'm pretty sure it probably is. So yeah, let's tear into this, and I'm going to see if I can get my parts out of this front end to fix my broken 8S Savage. Alright, I'm just starting general disassembly. Taking off that skid plate, flipped it over, pulling off the bumper. Just tearing this thing apart just so I can fit it into my parts containers easy, and it's not taking up room in the shop. Pulling bolts out of shocks. Trying to get down, get the diffs and crap out of it, and get down to the two metal plates. Now I can't figure out, this is one of those specialty security bolts, like an Allen head with a dot in the middle. So I can't figure out how to get it out, but I finally get a hold of them with some vice grips. Spin them out. Yep, there, I showed it to you. Alright, we got that diff out. I want to tear the diff apart because I want to get my my pins and stuff that I need, and the gear on the inside that I need. it looks like I'm getting her all taken care of. Okay, here's the gear that came out of the nitro-powered Savage. All right, see how it is? Okay. Now, here is the gear. Well, not the one out of my truck, but it's one that I broke in the past out of my Savage Flux. Okay, so yeah, they're looking the same. Now, when you flip them over, look at the difference there. They hollowed out the one for the electric truck. Looks like it actually made it weak. Now, this one looks a lot stronger, or maybe this is an aftermarket part. This is going to work for my Savage Flux electric truck. Extra happy. Then I'll just take all the parts that I can use off of this and save for later times, like A-arms, steering components. A lot of this framing and stuff I'll get rid of. I'll put it on eBay and sell it. The transmission, that's a good high dollar part to sell on eBay. I'll keep the drive shafts, even though I've never tore a drive shaft out of my Savage, and I've owned it for like 10 years. But I'll keep the drive shafts. These shocks were kind of crappy. Even for their, well, maybe for their time, they weren't too bad, but I didn't really like them. So I'll probably get rid of those. Keep the diffs out of it, you know, things like that. And get rid of the rest. All right, back to working on the old nitro. Now I'm pulling the shocks and stuff off the rear end. Bumper. A-arms. Top A-arms, pulling the pins. And pesky security bits. Sure our bugger. A couple more of them. Just a few more security bits, and okay, I've pretty much got this thing all tore right down. Rip them shocks off, strip everything separate pieces. Okay, looks pretty good to me. Pack it all away. Alright, so we got a few extra Savage parts now. Already had this one full. Now we got this one full as well. Oh, can't forget the nuts and bolts. It's nice to put those in a little baggie or something so they don't just end up in the bottom of the bin there. Still have this whole truck here that I'm going to hopefully make into another Savage. Might have an X-Max motor to throw in that one. Little bit of experimenting to do with that guy. Alright, we got that Savage all tore apart, so I could fix this Savage without ordering any parts and spending any money. Now this bad girl's awfully dusty. After the last time we had it out at the track. And now she's looking a bit prettier again. If you can see here, I'm turning everything with this tire, but this tire, we're just spinning round and round. And it's because something is broke on the diff in here. So now I gotta tear this bottom piece off and get the front diff out of this girl. Now we got my broken Flux, my electric truck, the one I'm gonna be fixing. Pulling off that front bumper skid plate deal. Pull the pins out, off from the A-arms, pull the top pins. Take them the rest of the way off. Hook the shocks and junk. Okay, now I'm pulling out a bunch of screws so I can get the front diff out of there. I forgot how to do it for a minute, but it's all coming back to me. Bam, got that front diff out. Now there's a whole bunch more screws that got to come apart so I can get the diff out of there, and I got it out. I got to pull the diff apart. And I did just that. Getting everything out and separated and cleaned up. Can't forget that rubbing alcohol and paper towels. It's your best friend when you're cleaning out a diff to rebuild it. You don't want any of that old grease and them old chipped up pieces of metal in there because it'll wreck your gears, your new gears you're putting in there, whether they're brand new or new used, like we're doing here today. Alright, looks like I got pretty much all of the pieces cleaned up. Okay, so some differences right away. This is the gas engine diff right here, and this is the electric one, okay? Steel case versus plastic case. The outdrives look to be about the same, I would say. The electric one does look a little bit beefier, maybe. Yeah, definitely. The axle's got a bigger round part. See how much wider that one is? The ball of the axle that fits in there. This guy, definitely a lot fatter. See the difference? Another thing, look at the ring gear. Different mesh. Now when I open this one up, I don't know if it's missing another set here. Usually if there's another 2 sets in there, you'll have 2 of these bars in there like that. Have a flat spot in it. Like, see that flat spot? Now I'm hoping that these guys here will be the same. And it does. Yeah, these are the same. This is what happens to the stock ones. You see how it's got that raised lip? What it'll do is it'll break all that raised lip off in there, and then the pin will only half of it will sit down in there, and it'll pop up and spin around. Click, click, click. It'll end up breaking the pin into a bunch of pieces, and then maybe breaking a spider gear like this. You know, things of that nature. This pin's the easy one to get in. Putting it in on the other side is the hard one. And you'll see what I mean in a minute. Alright, that one's in. Lay this off to the side. Now this next one is a bugger. Gotta stick it through the bottom. And you put your shim down in there. Then you gotta turn this. The hole is lined up going this way with one of these deep grooves here. And then you got to get this in here just so. Lay it flat and then slide it in. I know how to do it, so I kind of got her down, but it can be a pain. And then you simply lay your part of your innards in. Make sure it clicks. Okay, it's on there. Next, you take these 2 guys, line them up, put on a set of your spiders. Don't forget your shim deal on the back. Put your next one on. Next. And last. Okay, so now we got all 4 of those bad boys on there. Okay, after you got them on there, you'll need to slide these on. I think they go this way with the excess sticking up, not down like this. I think they go sticking up. Get it in there, push these back, outwards like that. Okay, make sure it spins a little bit. Perfect. This is when you need to fill it up. I'm going to use 10K because this is going in the front. It's not the rear diff. And this truck does not have a center diff. So the front tires can't spin any faster than the rear tires. And I want it to steer good too. And I want to be as easy on this diff as I can with all this power. You know, running 8S and stuff. So I'm going with a thin diff oil. Okay, then this guy just gonna sit on there just like that. Boom, click down in. All right. I just put 2 in, tighten it down a little bit each side, and all your excess will squirt out your other 2 holes. Just like that. Wipe that on out of there. Okay, we got the diff put back together. Time to get it put back in the truck. Okay, back to the time lapse again. Putting everything back together here. Actually found that pink piece there was broken, so I went and got a spare one. So that front diff back in the truck, bolting her all back together. I wanted to come back off the time lapse for a minute. Most of the screws in this truck are all coarse threads, whether they're the button head screws or the flat head screws. They're all coarse, except for these two right here are a fine thread. This one here and the matching one over on this side. I figured that was important just to let everybody know where those go, because it can be easy to mix up screws. Back to the time lapse. Another thing, when you're putting your A-arms back on, don't forget this. It goes on the upper part of your A-arm to take out slop. It's where your pin goes through. Don't forget it. It goes right in through here. And you'll be going, how? It don't go into... You got to turn it sideways. Stick it all the way through to the other side. Then twist it up just like that. Let me get these shocks. You can bend your shocks right up like this. And this body post to kind of hold them there out of the way a little bit. So pop your bottom in here. And you'll see this slot right here. Will this bottom pinkish purple part will go right into that slot. Get your long pins first. Stick those through the bottom. Okay, you're going to want to slide your purple guy all the way out like this way. Slide it all the way out. Your top A-arm will slide right in like that. Then you just go ahead and slide your pin in. All right. Maybe. There we go. Top one. Pin in there. Bam. Put these shocks back down. Flip her back over. You need to put this into here like so, because it's got those little deals there. You want to stick those in there. And then I think you just put this whole deal on together. All together. Okay, couple bolts on the side. Now, the other set of fine threads right here. Tighten that up. Next side. I think it's easier to do when you got this bottom A-arm off. So like putting these steering your tie rods on. Putting these tie rods on first before you put any of the A-arms on, I think is the easiest way to get the tie rods bolted in. But I'm not going to be able to use my power drill is all, because there ain't enough clearance to get that big guy in here. I just have to use a hand screwdriver for the last bolt here, the last screw. Okay, got that one in. Now I remember these very long ones went all the way up front. 2 button heads in the middle. Back to flat heads here. Short flat heads go in the rear of this skid plate. Now the only thing left is getting these shocks bolted up. Just like so, I guess. Okay, and pop these bumper mounts and pin keepers in. Flex them down like that. Then you got these little guys here. They come in, just pop in the back. Like so. What's going on here? Huh. All right, guys, it wasn't turning. The wheels weren't turning. And I was like, what the heck is going on here? Mike made a little oopsie. You see how one of those are shorter than the other? Well, the short ones go right here. It was actually going up and hitting the out drive where the axle goes in to the diff. Put those in like that. Those in like that. And then, hey, it works now, yay! The Savage Flux is back, baby! Alright guys, that's it for getting the Savage Flux back up to speed. I'm Traxxas Mike for My RC Life, and I'll see you later. Bye guys.
Thanks for watching another episode of My RC Life. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.